Too many things are going this way. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Even down to my travel, I'm like, ooh, if it's like off, that flight ain't for me, or this ain't for me. Like,
you know, so then that was kind of like a hold up. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? And
did that make you want to be a rapper more, or make you want to make more money to get it back?
Nah.
No. I'm not with him.
No.
Oh. Yeah. Not by choice, but, you know, I respect him.
Not by choice. That's all Angela Simmons said when somebody asked if she was single, and honestly, those 3 little words said everything. You could feel the weight behind it, the kind of response that doesn't need details because the heartbreak is already written between the lines. Everyone knew exactly who she was talking about, Yo Gotti. The wild part is, if you fast forward to right now, the tables have completely turned. Gotti's the one out here chasing, begging, trying to get back in her good graces after GloRilla straight up humiliated him live for the whole internet to see. But what Instagram didn't show was the stuff that happened months before that live stream, the expensive gifts, the late night calls, and the quiet shift in Angela's energy as she started to pull away long before the world realized something was wrong. And to really understand how deep this story runs, you gotta rewind back almost a decade to 2015. That's when Gotti dropped his hit Down in the DM, and right in the middle of it, he shot his shot at Angela Simmons for the whole world to hear. That line, "And I just followed Angela Simmons, boy. I got a crush on Angela Simmons, it wasn't slick, it wasn't hidden, it was bold." The internet went crazy because this Memphis rapper was out here confessing his crush on Rev Run's daughter, hip-hop royalty, a woman who was basically untouchable in the culture. People laughed, they hyped it, and suddenly it became this running storyline, Gotti publicly, relentlessly shooting his shot. Fast forward years later and the fantasy actually came true. By 2023, Angela and Gotti weren't just rumored anymore, they were official. She even went Instagram public with it, posting a glowing photo of them together captioned, "You're all I need." From the outside, it looked like something out of a movie, the rapper who dreamed it, spoke it, and manifested it, finally landing the girl of his dreams. Fans crowned them hip-hop's grown couple goals, the duo that proved not every celeb relationship had to be messy. But you'll know how social media works, the smiles and matching outfits can be staged, and what looks solid in a square post doesn't always reflect the truth behind the scenes. According to insiders, cracks had already started to show in that so-called perfect picture. Angela, who runs her own fashion lines and fitness brands, wasn't some accessory or plus one, and she reportedly started feeling like she was giving way more than she was receiving. One source even claimed she felt like she was putting in all the effort while Gotti's energy was elsewhere. His schedule was stacked, CMG Records was blowing up, and suddenly GloRilla, his breakout artist, was everywhere. Studio sessions, parties, interviews, tours, you name it. At first, people shrugged it off as business, but the whispers got louder. Rumors started painting a different story, and eventually headlines followed. And then came the moment that tipped everything. GloRilla hopped on IG Live, clowning around, and in the middle of it all, she low-key embarrassed Gotti in front of thousands watching. The clip spread fast, and suddenly the man who once looked like he had it all, Angela, the dream relationship, the respect, looked like he was losing grip on everything at once. It was wild, because when you look back, it really was a fairy tale in the beginning. A rap lyric that turned into a real-life love story. But now it's become one of the messiest celebrity breakups the internet has seen in a long while. But here's the part that gets shady, even when GloRilla wasn't saying a word, the internet was piecing things together. People were already side-eyeing the way Gotti treated her, not like an artist under his label, but like something more. Gifts weren't normal CEO-to-artist gestures, they were lavish, over-the-top, and personal. Case in point, the time he pulled up with a brand new Maybach truck for her birthday. Not flowers, not a little jewelry, but a whole $200,000 luxury SUV with a big red bow on top. GloRilla jumped on Instagram cheesing like she'd just gotten engaged, posting, "You're the best," and fans in the comments went crazy. People weren't buying the "it's just business" excuse anymore. They were connecting dots and asking straight up if they were messing around. And just when people thought it couldn't get any louder, Gotti doubled down. He iced her out with a $65,000 Audemars spaghetti, an 18-carat spaghetti royal oak sitting heavy on her wrist. This wasn't just a flex on other labels, this was a flex on everybody watching. A gift that screamed, "She's special," and not in the way a CEO should be treating an employee. Fans said it loud, "Nah, they are definitely more than just label mates." Meanwhile, Angela wasn't blind. She saw the posts, she heard the whispers, and according to folks close to her, that's when her energy shifted for good. The late-night calls from Gotti weren't hitting the same, the constant reassurance wasn't working anymore, and Angela quietly began to distance herself. By the time the IG Live humiliation hit the blogs, she was already halfway out the door emotionally. And when she finally confirmed she was single with that cold "not by choice," it was like she ripped the bandage off and let the world see the wound. Now Gotti's stuck trying to reverse the narrative, trying to win back the woman he once dreamed about. But the internet has receipts, and the internet doesn't forget. What started as a bold rap bar in 2015 has flipped into a public breakup saga in 2025, with Gotti on the losing end, Angela reclaiming her peace, and GloRilla in the middle whether she wanted to be or not. And the craziest part? This isn't even the end, because if history has taught us anything, when it comes to love, clout, and hip-hop, the story always finds a way to get messier before it's done. But here's the thing, you don't just throw out Maybachs and diamond watches unless there's some kind of real investment behind it, you feel me? People started piecing things together, asking, wait, is this just business, or is something deeper going on? One fan even commented, "Oh, she looks pretty, he buys her the nicest gifts, and he always speaks highly of her in interviews." And honestly, it was true. Anytime Gotti talked about GloRilla, it sounded less like a label exec hyping up his artist and more like a proud man bragging on someone special. And it wasn't just gifts either. Gotti was showing up for her in ways people couldn't ignore. He popped out at her birthday bash in Memphis, performed alongside her, hyped her up like he was her #1 fan. That's not your typical quiet business move, that was loud, public support. So even though GloRilla never threw shade at Angela or acted messy, her presence alone was loud enough. Loud enough that people began whispering, if he's doing all this for Glo, what does that mean for Angela? Because at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words, and Yo Gotti's actions had everyone talking. Meanwhile, Angela was posting something entirely different on her IG story. She dropped a quote, "I want what wants me in life, in all areas. What flows, flows. What goes, goes." That wasn't just a random inspirational post, that was a woman quietly tapping out. Like saying, I'm not about to fight for a man who's too busy showing his loyalty somewhere else. An insider even explained, Angela's not the type to get jealous or insecure, that's not her vibe. But she's not dumb either. She's not ignoring red flags, even if it's just rumors. She wanted more reassurance, more time, more effort from Gotti. So when the breakup finally bubbled over and GloRilla clowned Gotti on IG Live, leaving him looking lost, everything started to make sense. Those picture-perfect posts were just smoke and mirrors. Now Gotti is scrambling to win Angela back, while the internet watches like it's reality TV. But Angela's silence speaks volumes. She hasn't ranted, thrown subs, or gone live. Instead, she dropped one of the most graceful gut punches ever. When Angie Martinez asked if she was single, Angela smiled and said, "Not by choice. But you know, I respect him. Some stuff is better left unsaid." At the time, people called it classy, even like closure. But now, After GloRilla's viral moment and whispers of Gotti reaching out behind the scenes, those words hit different. Not by choice suddenly sounds like she wanted it to work and he fumbled it. And some stuff is better left unsaid, feels like she knew way more than she let on. Fast forward, and now Gotti looks like a man who had his dream girl, lost her, and is scrambling to hold on as the empire around him shakes. Angela, meanwhile, is glowing, moving in silence, and making it clear she's not waiting around.